Hey everyone. So, if you've ever looked at your parrot and felt like you're both operating on completely different wavelengths, you are definitely not alone. These amazing birds can be, well, a little complicated. But what if all that confusion is just a conversation that's waiting to happen? Today, we're going to learn how to turn that confusion into a real, genuine connection. Does this sound a little too familiar? I bet it does for most of us parrot people. But here's what's so great about looking at it this way. That moodiness isn't a problem with your bird. It's a language. Your parrot is talking to you constantly. So our job isn't to fix them, it's to learn how to listen. And trust me, once you get it, everything changes. All right, so here's the game plan. First, we're going to put on our detective hats and crack the parrot code. Figure out their body language. Then we'll unlock the secret to their motivation, finding that one perfect treat. After that, we'll dive into the most important command you can teach, step up. And finally, we'll talk about what to do when your bird just looks at you and says, nope, not today. Okay, let's get into the foundation of everything. Before you can even think about asking your bird to do something, you've got to be able to hear what they're already telling you. This part is all about seeing the world through their eyes. A parrot's body is basically a billboard for what's going on in its head. Take a look at their eyes. If you see those pupils doing that rapid shrink and grow thing called pinning, you need to pay attention. It can mean they're excited, sure, but it can also be a big warning sign. For cockatoo, a crest held way, way up high, that's fear. But one held down flat can mean it's feeling aggressive. And you can see the difference right here. Smooth, sleek feathers mean a happy, chill bird. But ruffled feathers on a stiff, rigid body, yeah, that's your cue to give them a little space. And of course, they talk. And I don't just mean with words. They have this whole library of sounds. Singing and whistling, that's the soundtrack of a happy bird in a happy home. That quiet little chattering sound, that could actually be your bird practicing its next words. But a growl is not a suggestion. It's a very clear, direct command to back off. Learning what these sounds mean helps you meet their needs before things get tense. Okay, so we're better listeners now. Let's talk about the fun part, motivation. To have a really good training session, you have to know what your parent actually wants to work for. I mean, what it really, really wants. So the best tool we have for this is called positive reinforcement. It's so simple. When they do something you like, you give them something they like, and they'll be more likely to do it again. I mean, think about it. If I offered you a celery stick to go run a marathon, you'd probably say no thanks. But for a perfect slice of your absolute favorite cake, suddenly you're lacing up your sneakers. We've got to find your parents' carrot cake. So, how do we find that carrot cake? Well, we do a simple little experiment. It's called the hierarchy treat test. It's like you're setting up a tiny buffet for your bird. Put out a few different things, maybe some sunflower seeds, a piece of dried fruit, a little bit of millet. Then just watch. Whatever they grab first, that's it. That's your jackpot reward. You save that one for the huge aha moments. The second and third things they pick, those are going to be your everyday training treats. Now, this next part is absolutely crucial. These special jackpot treats have to be sacred. They are for training and for training only. Think about it. If your bird knows it can just go over to its food bowl and get that super yummy thing for free whenever it wants, why would it ever work for it? You have to keep it special because that's what gives it its magic. All right, we've found our motivation. Now we're ready for our first big training mission. And let me tell you, this isn't just some cute trick. Step up is one of the most important things you and your bird will ever learn together. It is literally the foundation of your entire relationship. So why is step up such a big deal? Well, because you're going to use it every single day. Getting your bird out of the cage, moving them to their play gym, getting them ready for a vet visit, it all starts with a simple step up. It teaches your parrot that your hands are safe, that they're predictable, and that they're a bridge to good things. That builds a massive amount of trust. Let's break down exactly how you do it. You're just going to present your hand like a nice, steady perch, right there near their belly. Now at first, you reward any progress. Even if they just touch your hand, that's great, reward it. Then you raise the bar a little. Now they only get the treat for one foot, and then for both feet. Once they're doing it pretty reliably, you start saying your cue, like step up, right as they do it. And remember, keep these sessions short and fun. And here's the key. Always, always end on a success. But wait, what if your bird is just terrified of hands? No worries at all. You don't start with your hand. You start with something neutral, like a wooden stick or a perch you hold. This lets you teach the behavior and build that trust without freaking them out. For a really untamed bird, some people will even start with a towel wrapped around their hand, just to protect themselves and make it less intimidating for the bird. Okay, let's be real for a minute. Training is never a perfect straight line. There are going to be days when your parrot just isn't into it. They might refuse or run away or even get a little nippy. And you know what? That's totally normal. It's not a failure. It's just more communication. And this is so, so important. If your bird says no, the absolute worst thing you can do is try to force them. Shoving your hand into their chest or trying to pry their little feet off the perch. That doesn't teach them to step up. It teaches them your hands are scary, that they're unpredictable. It completely shatters their trust. The whole goal is for them to choose to step up because it's a good thing for them. All right, but let's talk about this really common problem. You did it, they stepped up onto your hand, and then, chomp, they reach down and bite you. What is that about? Is it a power trip? Well, usually it's just a sign of discomfort or uncertainty, and there's a really gentle but super effective way to handle it. It's called the wobble correction. The very second you feel that beak start to press down, you make a small, gentle, but quick downward dip with your hand. It's not a big drop, it's not a punishment. It just makes their perch feel unstable for a split second. What that does is teach a very clear lesson. When you bite, the world gets a little bit wobbly. It shows them there's a consequence, but it does it without using any fear, so you don't damage that bond you're working so hard to build. And that really brings us to the main idea here. We spend so much time focused on how to get our parrots to do what we want them to do. But maybe the real secret, the key to this whole thing, is to just flip that around. What if the goal isn't about being a good teacher, but about becoming a really good student of your bird? Because when we really focus on listening, on understanding and respecting what they're trying to tell us, we don't just get a well-behaved pet, we build a true partnership. Thanks for watching.